Reading the words, The Legend of Zelda, is like kissing a guy or girl with really amazing breath. It's sweet, sends soothing chills down your spine, and man do you want some more of that! The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time has you drooling for more. You're Link, or whoever you want to be, I'm so brave, who's chosen by the gods to fight a magnificent evil in the form of Ganondorf. A man whose desire is to obtain the Triforce, a powerful relic that makes wishes come true, and his wish, to rule with an evil hand over the land of Hyrule. To succeed, Link must travel through time and take on evil both as boy and man, and scour through massive, intimidating temples plagued with numerous puzzles and gigantic monsters to awaken the sages who are the last line in sealing away Ganondorf forever. So epic. Ooh, I get so giddy just thinking about it! For me, this was the first game I played where it wasn't just a macho guy walking or jumping around, going bonk and womp, and saving a damsel in distress. No, these women have power, and are pivotal in Link's success towards saving Hyrule. So let's fish around the vast land of Hyrule and hook us some important and influential women in the 1998 Nintendo 64 game, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And fishing proves to be the most effective, because look what we reeled in first! A fish lady! Oh boy, is she a keeper. Swallow hook, line, and sinker. Her name is Ruto, and she's Princess of the Zoras, a really boring race of fish people governed by their corpulent king, King Zora. When you first enter their domain, Ruto is missing, and everyone is searching really hard for her. Turns out she was swallowed by the Zora's god, Lord Jabu Jabu, some god mindlessly eating its own worshippers! So what do? Go inside of it! Yeah, you are a hero after all. And you just happened to pick the day where Ganondorf infected Jabu Jabu with some disease, because the inside is just crawling with mucousy worms and unidentifiable abominations! Are those tongues? Way down here? This is horrifying! Most horrifying of all is Ruto herself. I try and refrain from using vulgar language and profanity, but there really is no other way to describe her. She's a bitch! She's standoffish and doesn't want help, almost killing herself in the process, and after you insistently and consistently talk to her, she'll finally go with you, but you have to carry her. Man, Link is so strong, carrying something equal in his weight over his head, and it doesn't faze him. Guys, try and pick up your girlfriend in the same fashion and jump around. It's not easy. But dare you put her down for only a few moments, she gives you a tongue lashing. Come on, why are you so mean? Want to get back at her? Huck her at stuff. So tough! Ruto's got buns of steel. Finally, once you rescue her and save Jabu Jabu, Ruto flips a 180 and now finds Link to be a major hunk. Took you that long to figure it out, huh, Ruto? She finds Link badass and wants to marry him? What? You don't really have an option, so you kinda have to. Oh boy. She has 4 eyes. Do they work? 7 years later, Ruto has gone to the water temple to save Zora's domain, which has now frozen over. When you find her in the water temple, whoa! Man, she's still naked! However, she gives you another tongue thrashing for not being a proper fiancé for 7 years? Talk about commitment! This is a woman you can't escape from! She's psychotic! However, you are saved from marriage when it's discovered that Ruto is one of the sages. So because of her destiny, once Ganondorf is defeated, you will never see her again. However, she grants her eternal love. I think I'd rather be plagued with what was inside Jabu Jabu than with Ruto's eternal love. But we have other fish to fry, let's move on. To the desert, ooh, where there's a whole ocean of women, yeah! They're called the Gerudo, or Gerudo, I don't know, and it's only a race of women. They specialize in robbing people and thievery, and they really don't like outsiders, especially men. At one point, you have to be ninja-like and rescue 4 carpenters from the Gerudo prison. They wanted to join an all-women group because they were bored? Which is dumb beyond comprehension, but still, who knows what the Gerudo would have done to them. They're pretty scary. And they're tough! Their bodies are so chiseled, you'd probably break your finger trying to poke them. They can take arrows to the head! Arrows to the head! It only phases them briefly, where with everyone else, it'd probably kill them. And they're fast and jump like crazy. Not to mention they are outrageously violent fighters, flipping about and slashing with their sabers and exhibiting ungodly speed and agility. They block all your attacks and are more nimble than a velociraptor. This is bull stuff! She's too good! Get back here! Come on! However, they don't hate every man. Every 100 years or so, a male is born in the Gerudo, and he shall become king, which at the present time of this game is Ganondorf. Though they were bad women to begin with, Ganondorf really led them down a horrid path and caused the public to really fear them. Bottom line, I wouldn't want to be alone with one in a dark alley. There is one rebel of the Gerudo, the second in command, Nabooru, and she hates Ganondorf. You first meet her late in the game as a kid, inside the Spirit Temple, where she's trying to sabotage Ganondorf's plans, but is thwarted by this gigantic hole that she can't seem to squeeze through. What? Look how slim she is! She's so cut! How can you not fit? Unless it's those poofy hot pants, they went out of style long ago. Anyway, she sends you through the hole only to get mobbed by monsters and puzzles, of course, and to pick up a treasure for her so she can progress deeper into the temple. All of that hard work doesn't exactly pay off. Nabooru ends up getting captured and sucked into the desert, and for 7 years she becomes a mindless zombie serving Ganondorf's surrogate mothers, like dressing up as a gigantic armored beast! That axe! It's so big! I told you she was so cut, so strong! But after you rescue her and discover that she's the Sage of Spirit, I lose all respect for her. Everything seems fine at first, she stops calling you kid, and finally calls you by your real name. Then there's this. Yeah, I mean, how else do these women procreate? Talk about being baited, let's cast our line out into the forest and sink into the emotional connection between Link and Saria. She's a Kokiri, a race of people that live in the forest, and they're watched over by their god, the Great Deku Tree. Unfortunately, Kokiri cannot leave the forest, or they will die. That sounds fun. And it's not exactly clear how old these people are, and I say people, not kids, even though they look like kids. They're not. They could be over 100 years old for all I know. But Saria comes off as wiser than the others. She's the only one that stood up for Link when the other Kokiri made fun of him for not having a fairy companion. They're so mean, they made fun of him his whole life. Yeah, all Kokiri have fairies, except Link. That is, until the Deku Tree summons one to him to start his epic adventure. Even when the Kokiri suspect Link of killing the Great Deku Tree with no real evidence, the real killer being Ganondorf, Saria was the only one that defended him. Later on, 7 years later to be exact, you learn from a new Deku Tree that Link's parents were killed. The mother managed to escape to the forest, but died, and the Great Deku Tree, foreseeing how important this boy's future would be, took him into the forest. Though it's not explicitly said, I'm assuming Saria was the one responsible for raising him since he was a baby. She really helps him out more than any other person in the game, not just from raising him, but teaching him magical songs and using a song to communicate with her whenever you're stuck on what to do next. When Link finally leaves the forest for the first time, there's a real emotional scene with Saria giving her ocarina to him and stating that, though he's different and she knew he'd leave the forest sometime, that they'll always be friends. The relationship between these two goes beyond best friends, even beyond what feels like an older sister and younger brother. It's so platonic and thick, a bomb couldn't even put a dent in it. It's that sweet. What gets me the most more than anything in this game is the part where you defeat the Forest Temple, where you awaken Saria as a sage. She'll help you conquer Ganondorf, but after that, It's implied that you'll never see her again. Wow. I take it to heart. You don't realize you have something really good until it's gone forever. It makes me reflect on some of the innocent mistakes I've made in the past, and I can't take them back now. Those fish are long gone, and by now probably hooked and caught by someone else. Oh well, I've been talking about the sages. I may as well finish up with the last one. And her name is Impa, and she's the most commanding of all the women in the game. And I only say this because she looks like she could snap your neck if you'd piss her off. Is that a bra strap? It looks like something Hannibal Lecter should be wrapped in. And is that bra from the 1950s? Why is it so pointy? Yuck! Anyway, Impa is known as a Sheikah. Not much is known about them other than that they guarded the royal family of Hyrule for eons, and that Impa is the last of them. She's not in the game a whole lot, but she's put her mark in Hyrule. She's a true hero, opening up an abandoned village, reconstructing buildings and expanding it so as to provide homes for the poor and the homeless. When you next meet her as an adult, she's trying to seal up a monster that escaped from a well. A vicious monster that plays a mean solo on his bongo. Yeah, pump it up! What a hot beat. Bong, bong, bong. Bong, 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 bong. Well, that's all for the female sages, but there's a ton of other women to get to in Ocarina of Time. So don't pack your things yet, we've got more fishing to do. The moon is full, the blood's flowing through my veins, I'm seeing red! It's that time of the month.